Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. Welcome back to Crewsville Adventures, aka Crewsville Gardens mainly. But anyway, a quick update. The last few months, a lot of changes going on in Crewsville. Our land has been sold, all 260 acres. So we still have Giggy's garden over there. She's still going to be staying there for a few months, but we are moving. My wife has a new job starting in January. So we will no longer be here at the lake. So over the last few months, we've been getting the house ready to show, all that good stuff, going down to look at places where we're gonna be moving. A lot of energy just searching and trying to figure out timing, as well as doing summer stuff and all those things. So the last several weeks, really since I posted my last videos, I kept maintaining the flower beds and all that until about 3 weeks or so ago, completely gave up with the deer. And I'm gonna show you the damage they did in just a moment in the backyard at the retaining wall flower bed. And now everything has been, I picked weeds about a month ago and everything came back with a vengeance. We were also on vacation a week or so ago for an entire week. And during that time, everything was okay, but now everything's going crazy. So the next set of videos we're gonna be doing is gonna be reclaiming Crewsville Gardens to make it look like it's supposed to. I'll be documenting all the changes. And remember, it's gonna look bad. I don't mind sharing it because sometimes it just gets that way, a little overwhelmed, but we're gonna get it back in tip-top shape because people are now looking at our property. And at this point, thankfully, we hadn't anyone look at it for the last week or so, and that's when some of the stuff's really going downhill fast. So, time to refresh the garden. Let's take a look. Got here Japanese maple. It's pretty all right. Look at that. Those guys have spread out and done great. Just taking over. They'll take over the whole flower bed if you let them. Now check these out. We kept keeping them from being trimmed because they had colors on them, but they just keep getting bigger and bigger, these rose trees, these knockout rose trees. So I'm gonna be cutting those way, way back. Even though we're gonna lose all the flowers, that's okay because we'll get some nice new growth, because here, it's only September, we'll have regrowth and more blooms all the way, sometimes up through the end of November, just depending on the weather. So the drift roses, of course, have stayed small, but these knockout trees, look at how huge. Now, the pine straw, that's just gush running up and down. I blow that every few days, get it all straight. So all the rose trees need to be trimmed back. Mainly those two big ones in the front. Carolina jasmine still growing and doing okay. But here's the sad part. Now this was a wall of petunias. You can see our older videos to see how awesome these look, but they're finally dying out. And these little weeds have started sprouting up, and dang, they grow fast. I completely weeded this about a month ago, and the weeds are now as tall as the roses almost. So all this, haven't trimmed them. Just let them go. They look rough. They've gotten a lot rougher over when we were on vacation because they just dried out everything. So didn't really water them a whole lot. So we're just going to replace those. Look at these weeds. It's like a stinking rainforest of weeds. Look, they're as tall as the roses. Roses hasn't been trimmed back in a while, as you can see. Knockouts are like they are usually towards the end of the summer. Keep in mind, however, that our stuff starts blooming, you know, like around April and stuff. So when you see some of the different things, now that purple's got to come out of there, or at least get yanked down to the ground so that we keep it under control, because it will take over everything. Drift roses, just mixture weeds. Ugh, got the weeds in the basket there with the Carolina jasmine and the lavender crush. Ouch. Remember, keep saying I'm gonna cut this lower petaling back down. It's basically turned into a tree. I have to cut it back. We are going to clean up all the blooms, spent blooms here. Just cut all those off and let all the green come back out. Look at these drift roses. Look at them stinking weeds. Ugh. Like I said, when we were on vacation, they just kept coming. I haven't weeded them since, so they just kept getting taller and taller. Rain, of course, knocked all these down, so probably trim these up as well. Maybe save a few. This thing, on the other hand, had a resurgence. It was just sticks, and now it flushed back out, so really awesome. But yes, we have gotten to the end now of these. Or I thought of doing an experiment where I trim it all the way around and then start fertilizing it heavily again and see if we can have a renaissance, but I don't know yet if I'm going to do that. May do it for just a week or so, see how it looks. All right, let's go to the back. Oh, forgot to mention evening primrose, these sticks right here. These actually have seed pods on them. Don't know if that'll focus, but these little seed pods, will break a bunch of those off. Little small microscopic seeds. Go ahead and plant those so that we can have some that are growing, so that way they're biurnal or whatever that's called, or biurnal, diurnal. Takes 2 years usually, 2 growing seasons. So if we start them now, we'll have enough warm weather to let them grow big enough that next year they'll be ready to bloom again. So evening primrose, we're going to save some of those seeds and replant them very quickly so they start growing this year. All right, we're back here on the back deck. We're gonna do this very quickly because the sun's going down. Sun's going down, like the Incredible Hulk little calm down thing. Anyway, got to trim those up. All the petunias haven't been getting fertilized for the past month. Up until then, I was doing it religiously once a week. But as you can see, they're still alive. Once again, now these are almost done just because it's their natural cycle. These Sun Credibles, they had lots and lots of blooms. They're down to just the last few. These guys are about to open up though, so we're finally getting some of these angel trumpets. All the hanging baskets are pretty much done. I think I'm just going to pull them off. I mean, I may trim them, like I said, give them a week of fertilizing and just see if they start doing some new growth, see if they'll redo themselves. But we'll see. A little bit of angel trumpet starting to come up on these. Once again, I've watered these, kept them watered some, but they're looking kind of rough and not fertilized. So, oh well, it is what it is. Trying to get all the inside stuff of our house in already and doing those kind of things. Really kind of just, eventually we said we'll come back to this later. So we did. Do have an evening primrose, I think, right there, randomly coming up in that pot. Awesome. All right, let's go downstairs. Okay, we got our butterfly bushes going absolutely insane. It rained a few days ago, so this part is kind of bent down a little bit. But I will say this. If you have deer, I mean herds of tame deer in a neighborhood, butterfly bushes are your friends. They actually protect that rose, the New Dawn climbing rose, which I let get out of control as well. We'll get it under control though. That's the next set of videos. We'll be starting back pretty regularly. All these right here on the edges, they've been nibbled down to the ground and back, but they keep coming back. They're drift roses. Butterfly bush is doing great. Need to come out here and show you guys some of the awesome amount of butterflies that are out here during the mornings and stuff. Big ones too, they're pretty. So all those are the dwarf Pugster series. There's another Miss Molly. All right, here's where it gets nasty. Nasty, nasty. First, weeds, of course. Believe it or not, I mean, that's not gonna be as hard to clean up as it may look. Look at our poor white wedding hydrangeas. The deer just absolutely have destroyed them over and over and over. But you know what? I knew I was going to be gone, and they were going to have free reign to do what they wanted to do. All these roses here were eaten down to sticks. They're recovering, but the deer will come back, except now I'm going to start monitoring them again as I start cleaning up. They don't mess with these, of course. They don't mess with the butterfly bushes back here. All those are fine. But look at that white wedding hydrangea. Oh, how embarrassing. Look at these weeds, how tall they are. That tells you how long, but these things grow fast, but still, it's been too long. Oh, and one other thing, all of this is automatically watered, for an hour a day during this hot time of the year. When I went to do something with some plumbing issue we had the other day, I noticed that the timer's battery on the watering timer thing on the faucet had died, so it wasn't getting everything watered out here, which isn't big. The flower bed doesn't really care. Oh, look how sad. This thing just was eaten to all the stuff on the edges, and then of course started dying out as well, just because it's kind of getting done with. We're going to replace it and make it all pretty. We finally had some of these roasting because they just were towards the end of their life cycle, and then it got too hot. And like I said, when I was on vacation, they weren't watered every single day, and they need to be. So, oh well, it is what it is. We can replace those and get them all pretty looking in the next few days. Oh, look how tall those weeds are. I'm so ashamed. I've lost face. And here's the saddest part of all the deer stuff. Well, let me slowly move back. All in there where those weeds are and all in that, there were daylilies. there are no daylilies hardly at all anymore. The deer completely ate them. I think they might have destroyed them this time. And look, this was one of our highlights, and the freaking deer ate it like a lawnmower. Oh my goodness. How horrible. How horrible. And our big elephant ear plant evidently just got too heavy and fell over as well, probably during a storm. But my goodness, those deer just destroyed this. And I can't remember what these are called right now, but they destroyed those. They've never let those do anything. Oh well. See what we got over here. These things I think just kind of died. I think maybe they were just too wet or something. These are forsythia. Just never did well, and I think I'm just gonna pull them up and start over with something else. Even the deer knocked over our gnome mushroom. I had to fix it when I came back when they were running around, but oh well, stinking deer. So, one thing that hasn't changed, folks, the view. This is the one thing we'll really miss from having this house, of course, is living on a lake. But we're excited about some of the places we're looking at. We don't know if we're gonna buy a house if we find a really awesome house with some property, or if we're gonna buy some property and build a house and that kind of good stuff. But we'll keep you updated on all that. But first, let's get this garden back into being Crewsville Adventures worthy. All right, so that's what we're gonna be doing. The next several sets of videos, we're gonna weed all this out. We're gonna try to freshen up whatever we can. We're gonna replace other stuff in an easy way too, nothing fancy. But remember, these hanging baskets, I mean, keep in mind, we did this stuff in like, I think April, at the beginning of April. I even did it as early as March, I think the year before maybe, but the very end of March. But these hanging baskets were really good up until, you know, middle part of August. So I can't complain. We got our money's worth out of them, definitely. And now we'll just refresh them and put something else in there. As we close out, last thing I'll mention, for the lad, this is our third summer, and this is the first time in 3 summers that we have actually seen our beach, because they haven't let the water out of the lake very much down at the dam. So they finally did, and within just a few weeks, we now have a huge beach area. So that's pretty awesome to have a beach. Now you can see our steps. Normally, if you've seen previous videos, wherever we show these steps in the water, those were in the edge of the water. So you can tell how far down it is right now. Pretty awesome. All right, well, I hope you guys have a great day. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. And I look forward to starting up some videos again. And also, if we got any ball python interest, we also have another page over at Nevermore Python Emporium. You can find us if you search for that word, Nevermore Python Emporium, because of my cool magic shows I do. I kind of named it after the Egg Growl and Poe theme. Nevermore Python Emporiums is over on Instagram and TikTok, and we got a little bit of YouTube videos, which we'll start up as well. But mostly we're gonna be doing Crewsville adventures in the garden. So we'll get to it. Hope y'all have a great day, and it's good to be back. We'll see you soon. I'll leave you with a few seconds of the sunset. Look at that. Beautiful.